I'm going to start my live session today with my favorite way to start a webinar or a book study. I want you to take 3 deep breaths to center yourself and to bring yourself into this space, because if you're here live and you're spending a couple minutes with me, I really want you to be all here, fully focused. You don't need to worry about what went on this morning or what you still have to do this afternoon. Just be all here, completely here. So let's breathe. Take a deep breath in. Hold. Breathe out with a sigh. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out with a sigh. One last time, breathe in. Hold. Make this your biggest sigh yet. Breathe out with a sigh. Today, I'm going to talk about mindset. So what exactly do I mean when I say mindset? You could Google the word mindset and you're going to get a whole bunch of different definitions. But the one that I like the best is the one that Carol Dweck coined. Carol is the author of Mindset, Psychology of Success. I'm not quite sure of the name. Anyway, her definition, she is a preeminent authority on mindset. And her definition is, mindset is the view you adopt for yourself that profoundly affects the way you lead your life. So what does this mean? Well, if you have a mindset that says change is bad, well, if you believe that change is bad, whenever change comes, you're going to resist it and you're going to react with fear and you're going to fight it. And that's going to affect your life because you're not going to be flexible and you're going to be rigid and you're going to fight. If you have a growth mindset and you say that everything that happens to you is for you instead of to you, then anything that comes along, no matter how bad, no matter how gloomy, no matter how difficult or hard, if you believe that everything that happens to you happens for you, to you, then you're going to look for the lessons in the hardship. And you're going to see hardship as a pathway to peace. But if you have a mindset that says that shit happens to you all the time and that you're like a magnet for horrible things to happen, well, for one thing, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because if you believe bad things are going to happen to you, bad things are going to happen to you. Not necessarily that they're really bad, but you're going to interpret them as bad. And then you're going to clench up, you're going to get very judgmental, you're going to get very negative, very kind of closed in, fetal position. And you're not going to be able to be open to the opportunities and gifts that might be coming in that, what you see as a bad situation. So do you see what I mean? Mindset is a view you adopt for yourself that profoundly affects the way you lead your life. So why is mindset important? Well, having a positive mindset can lead to increased resilience, motivation, happiness, and success. It can lead to greater professional fulfillment. It enhances our mental and emotional well-being. On the other hand, having a negative mindset can lead to feelings of helplessness, hopelessness, frustration, overwhelm, and anxiety. it can lead to stress and depression. It keeps us from achieving our goals, making our dreams come true, and living the life we want. And I can say that from personal experience, because for years I had a negative mindset, and it led to depression and alcoholism. It kept me from achieving the goals I really wanted to achieve. It kept me from making my dreams come true. And it kept me from living the life I wanted to live. Our mindset determines whether we become the people we want to be and whether we achieve our goals. So, do we have any control over our mindset? Well, mindset isn't static or set in stone. It's not something you're born with. It's something that develops over your lifetime, and it's fluid and dynamic, and it can change. And you can have one mindset in your personal life and another mindset in your professional life, one mindset in your relationships and another mindset as a parent. You may have the mindset that you're a terrible mother, but that you're a great wife. Mindset is heavily influenced by our beliefs. These are what Dweck means when she talks about the view we adopt for ourselves. We may have very different beliefs or views depending on what is going on in different parts of our life. For example, if you've recently gone through a bad breakup or an ugly divorce, you may have the belief that you're never going to find lasting love. That's a negative mindset. Conversely, if you've just fallen in love or if you've just gotten married, you may believe that you've found your one true love and that life is good because you're in a loving relationship. If you're crushing it at work, you're very likely to have a positive mindset, a more positive mindset if you're crushing it at work than if you just got a devastating negative performance review, or maybe you just got fired. Well, that's going to influence you and most likely going to have a negative mindset, especially if you're worried about the job market and about your employability. That being said, yes, our mindset fluctuates. It depends on conditions and circumstances of our life. It certainly depends on our beliefs about ourselves, both positive and negative. But I also believe that we have a basic set point when it comes to mindset. So we have a default mindset that we revert back to when we're in a difficult situation. So if you have a tendency toward a negative mindset, if you're kind of an Eeyore, well, when you're in a difficult situation, you're probably going to revert back to your Eeyore mindset. If you're Tigger and you have a Tigger mindset and you are placed in a difficult situation, you're going to react in a very positive Tigger-like manner. If you have a Tigger mindset, you're going to look at the situation through a positive filter. Maybe you'll be able to trust that something good will come out of that difficult situation, or that could be a blessing in disguise. If you've got an Eeyore mindset, in other words, a mindset that leans towards the negative, you're going to look at the situation through a negative filter. And chances are you'll think the situation is bad, 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 and nothing good could ever possibly come out of it. And there's just nothing good about it, nothing to be grateful for. It's just bad. So I said earlier that I tended toward a negative mindset. Some of the signs that I have had a negative mindset was that I often felt stressed, anxious, overwhelmed. I was often disappointed. I was impatient. I was frustrated often. I procrastinated on tasks. I was a worrier. I often judged the way I looked. The way I felt about myself was very, very dependent on whether I was eating right or eating rubbish. I was very critical of myself. I often felt that I was not good enough. I felt it as a core belief that at my core, I really wasn't good enough. I doubted myself and second guessed myself a lot. And I had a really nasty, loud, incessant inner critic that was constantly fault finding. Most of us have a negative mindset because most of us have a part of the brain, which is commonly called the survivor brain, that is overactive and overdeveloped. Our survivor brain is constantly activated. It's doing our thinking for us. It's actually running our thinking. And it is constantly triggering the fight, flight, freeze, stress response. This keeps us trapped in a vicious cycle of automatic, habitual, negative thought patterns, judgment, anxiety, emotional reactivity, low self-esteem, and unhappiness. This survivor brain, when it's activated and running the show, it keeps us mired in negative emotions like anxiety, self-doubt, frustration, regret, shame, guilt, anger, and unhappiness. So we have this overactive, overdeveloped survivor brain. And when it is so overdeveloped and overactive, how can we possibly shift from a negative to a positive mindset? Well, we can't think ourselves into a positive mindset. We can't will ourselves into a positive mindset. We can't say enough affirmations to be able to shift from a negative to a positive mindset. But we can change our mindset through mental fitness training. Now, you're probably saying, AJ, what the heck is mental fitness training? First of all, let me tell you what mental fitness is. Mental fitness is the capacity to respond to life's challenges with a positive rather than negative mindset. So when you are mentally fit, you are, by definition, in a positive mindset. You have learned to respond to life's challenges in a positive way rather than a negative way. Mental fitness training, by extension, is how we build that capacity to respond to life's challenges with a positive rather than negative mindset. Now, think of mental fitness training. It's just like fitness training. It's analogous to working out our muscles. If we want to build up certain muscles, we have to lift weights, right? Well, our brains are muscles too. And the more we use certain parts of our brain, the more gray matter that part of the brain develops. The gray matter is the muscle, and the stronger that part gets. I decided that I wanted to build up my biceps, but I only lifted weights on my right bicep. That bicep would get strong and muscular, but my left bicep would atrophy from lack of exercise. That's what's happening in our brain when our survivor brain is overactive, because it's very active. It's getting a whole lot of exercise, a whole lot of muscle building. And the other parts of our brain, the wiser parts of our brain, the positive parts of our brain, are atrophying from lack of exercise. So we've been over-exercising our survivor brain, and we've been doing that for so long that it is overdeveloped. And the part of our brain, I'll call it the sage or wise brain, is underdeveloped. The sage brain is the part of our brain that generates positive emotions like curiosity, empathy, creativity, calm, joy, happiness, gratitude. When your sage brain is underdeveloped, it can't possibly compete with the overdeveloped survivor brain to get your attention. Think of it as there's a battle going on in your head, your brain, between the survivor brain and the sage brain. But the survivor brain is so much stronger than the sage brain that it wins the battle every time. So mental fitness training, what we do in mental fitness training is we have daily mental fitness workouts, just like daily physical fitness workouts. I do yoga and Pilates every day to strengthen my body and my flexibility. I do daily mental fitness workouts to strengthen my sage brain. When we do mental fitness workouts, we exercise our sage brain, which builds up the muscles, the gray matter in that part of our brain, and we rest our survivor brain, deactivate it, so that it is not getting as much exercise anymore. And over time, with that inactivity, the muscles of the survivor brain will get weaker, and there will be less gray matter in that area. So in a nutshell, mental fitness training done diligently and daily weakens our survivor brain or negative brain and strengthens our sage or positive brain. We learn to halt the thoughts that come from our survivor brain. We learn to deactivate our survivor brain and activate our sage brain. And as a result, our mindset naturally improves, and we are able to respond to life's challenges with a positive rather than a negative mindset. Now, I've been doing mental fitness training for almost a year now, and I have to tell you, the impact on my mindset has been nothing short of miraculous. As I said earlier, I had a slight tendency to a negative mindset, maybe more than a slight, but I definitely had a tendency toward a negative mindset. I came by it from family of origin. As a result of doing mental fitness training, I have turned the volume down on my inner critic. My inner critic is what I call the voice of my survivor brain. And I've turned up the volume on my inner sage. I no longer let criticism, self-criticism, insecurity, self-doubt, and negative self-talk keep me stuck. I don't let all of that negative stuff keep me stuck in bad habits, outdated beliefs, or negative thought patterns. So today, I spend far more time feeling grateful, happy, joyful, creative, curious, fulfilled, peaceful, and far less time feeling depressed, anxious, stressed, overwhelmed, and unworthy. It's a beautiful place to be. Now, I am such a believer in the power of mental fitness training that I want everyone to experience the benefit of having a mentally fit mind and positive mindset. That's why I became a mental fitness trainer. And that's why I offer my Reset Your Mindset Bootcamp. Reset Your Mindset is the best way to get in the habit of doing mental fitness workouts daily. The 8-week program teaches you the fundamentals of mental fitness, and you'll learn exercises that will weaken your survivor brain and strengthen your sage brain. And you'll learn how to halt the thoughts that come from your survivor brain. You'll learn how to deactivate your survivor brain, and you'll learn how to activate your sage brain. So this boot camp is for you if you want to spend far more time feeling grateful, happy, joyful, creative, and curious, and far less time feeling those ucky negative emotions like anxiety, stress, depression, overwhelm, unworthiness, self-doubt, self-criticism. This boot camp is for you if you want to shift from a positive to a positive mindset. It's for you if you want to stop procrastinating, if you want to stop judging the way you look and criticizing yourself or comparing yourself to other people. This boot camp is for you if you're tired of second guessing and doubting yourself. This boot camp is especially for you if you, like me, had a really, really nasty, mean inner critic. I'm starting up a new cohort on April 29th. And I would love for you to be on board with Reset Your Mindset so that you can grow your capacity to respond to life's challenges with a positive rather than a negative mindset. Email me, contact me through my website, message me. I would love to talk to you about mental fitness and mental fitness training. It's my favorite topic in the whole world.